Adaejah Hodge just turned a preliminary heat into a historic warning shot. Sha'Carri Richardson's legendary college record is gone, and a 19-year-old freshman is the reason. The wild part was not only the record, it was how early she did it. Adaejah Hodge did not wait for the final. She did not wait for the biggest race of the night. She did not wait until every camera was locked on one clean title race. She walked into the women's 100-meter semifinal at the NCAA Outdoor Championships and ran 10.63 seconds. That one number changed the whole meet. Sha'Carri Richardson's collegiate record had stood at 10.75 since 2019. Hodge did not just edge past it. She cut it down by 0.12 of a second. In the 100 meters, that is a huge gap. At this level, records often fall by tiny pieces. 1/100th can matter. 2/100ths can make history. 12/100ths is different. It is not a small lean at the line. It is a clear move into another class. The wind was legal. The race counted. The record was gone. The most shocking part was the round. This happened in a semifinal where athletes usually want to qualify, stay safe, and save energy for the final. Hodge did not run like someone trying to sneak through. She ran like someone taking control of the whole championship before the title race even started. That is why the moment hit so hard. The final had not arrived yet, but the story already changed. Hodge did not appear from nowhere. She arrived at Georgia with a race history that already looked bigger than a normal freshman profile. She was born in the British Virgin Islands and moved to the United States to chase better training and stronger competition. That move placed her inside a deeper sprint system, where fast races came often, and development had to happen under pressure. She trained at Montverde Academy in Florida, a program known for producing serious track talent. That environment gave her more than practice reps. It gave her high-level teammates, elite meets, and the kind of daily standard that can shape a young sprinter fast. As a teenager, Hodge set national high school indoor records. That mattered because indoor sprinting exposes raw speed. The races are short, tight, and unforgiving. A poor start or one bad step can ruin everything. Before ever wearing a Georgia uniform, she had already represented the British Virgin Islands at the Senior World Athletics Championships. That detail changes the way her college rise should be viewed. This was not a freshman learning how big meets feel for the first time. This was a globally tested sprinter stepping into the NCAA with grown-level racing experience already in her body. A time like this is not just a college story. It moves into world history. Hodge's record-breaking mark was reported as the 5th fastest women's 100-meter performer ever. That kind of speed changes the way every rival sees the race. At that level, the event is no longer about promise. It is about danger now. A sprinter running that fast can break a field before the final meters. The race stops feeling close once the middle phase hits cleanly. That is what made the semifinal masterclass so scary. Hodge did not need the final round drama to show the ceiling. She showed it early. She put the rest of the NCAA field in a hard place. Every sprinter going into the final knew the same thing. The top standard had already been raised, and it had been raised by a freshman. The 100 meters is brutal because there is no time to fix panic. A slow reaction, a tight drive phase, or one bad transition can lose the race. Hodge's run showed the parts connecting at the right time. The start was sharp enough. The middle carried power. The finish kept the record alive instead of letting it fade. That kind of speed does not whisper. It changes the room. The record Hodge broke carried a giant name. Sha'Carri Richardson set the previous collegiate mark in 2019, and that performance became part of her rise from LSU star to one of the most famous sprinters in the world. That is why this record falling feels bigger than a normal NCAA number. Sha'Carri's mark was not only fast, it was tied to an athlete who later became a world champion, Olympic star, and one of the most watched runners in track and field. So Hodge's performance will naturally be placed beside that story. The comparison is impossible to avoid, but it must be handled carefully. Hodge is not Sha'Carri. She does not need to copy her style, her voice, or her career path. Breaking a record does not mean repeating a life. It only means the clock has opened a new lane in history. Still, taking down that mark says something serious. It says Hodge has reached a level that only the sport's biggest names usually touch. It says the NCAA has a new sprint standard. It says one of the most famous records in college track no longer belongs to the athlete who made it legendary. The shadow did not disappear. It moved, the record was the headline. But it was not the whole day. Hodge also ran on Georgia's 4x100-meter relay during a record-setting team performance. That matters because relay speed is different from open speed. A sprinter must hit marks, trust the exchange, and keep full speed while moving with 3 other athletes. When a runner with that kind of power touches the baton, the entire race changes. A clean exchange can turn one leg into a weapon. A poor exchange can waste all the speed in the world. Georgia's relay success showed that Hodge's value was not limited to one lane in one event. She also advanced in the 200-meter picture. That added even more weight to the day. The 200 asks for curve control, patience, and strength after the body starts to burn. A sprinter who can threaten in both short events becomes much harder to plan against. That is why this was not just a single flash. It was a full career day. The semifinal record shocked the meet. The relay work helped Georgia. The 200 kept her in another title path. One day turned Hodge from a major name into the center of the championship. Georgia already had a strong sprint group, but Hodge's rise changes the team picture. At the NCAA Championships, one athlete can swing points. A sprinter with range can swing even more. Hodge can score in the 100. She can affect the 200. She can lift the relay. That kind of athlete gives a team more than speed. It gives a team belief. Teammates see the clock. Rivals see the clock. Coaches adjust their plans around the threat. Earlier in the season, Hodge had already warned everyone that something big was coming. She ran one of the fastest collegiate marks ever and moved close to the top of the all-time list. That performance showed the record was not safe. Then, the semifinal removed all doubt. For Georgia, this is the type of athlete who can change the feel of an entire meet. Her races become appointment viewing. Her relay leg becomes must-watch. Her presence forces pressure onto other programs before the gun even fires. That is how great sprint teams gain control. Not only by winning races, but by making everyone else race scared. Georgia now has that kind of weapon. This moment is historic, but it should not be turned into a finished career. One record does not guarantee a title. Championship sprinting can change fast. The final still matters. Round still matters. Recovery still matters. There is also a trust layer around Hodge's career that will follow this discussion. She returned to competition after serving a reduced anti-doping sanction tied to a past case. That context does not erase the official race result, but it means every major performance will be watched closely. Sprinting has lived through too many trust battles to ignore that part of the story. The fair view is clear. The performance was legal. The record counted. The time was historic. The questions around pressure, repeat form, and public trust are also real. Greatness in track is not built by one clock reading. It is built by backing it up when everyone is waiting for the fall. Adaejah Hodge did not just break a record. She changed the way the NCAA women's 100 meters feels.